The whole idea of the fight camp was, fighting is not something that you can do without being fully committed to. So if you have someone who's 35 years old, decides they want to go get into boxing, they've never played sport, they've never been athletic, naturally, and they decide, I'd like to have a fight. Fight camp offers that opportunity for those people to experience it.
That's it, keep the hand up. You all right, you all right? Hands up, hands up. Right.
Fight camp for me is all about just understanding what it takes to become a fighter. Like, this is 10 weeks of just prioritizing your fight at the end of the camp. And the realization of going through the fight camp, of learning all these things, everything that comes with it, like I said before, nutrition, recovery, the actual training itself, the mental aspects of it, like the mental training, all that sort of stuff. They're already starting to see and get a taste of how good they're getting, how good they could be after, a couple of fight camps. You imagine if you get this good after one fight, imagine how good you'd get after 5 fights, 10 fights, 20 fights. Imagine how good you got to be to get a belt. The world, like now they have some sort of context of how good somebody really is when they're on the top level. So fight camp for me is just about learning about these things and like how good people actually are and how good they could be if they trained like that.
Back in your stance, back in your stance. Oh, stay there. Touch the guard again.
I bring the passion of my sport to them, and if they can absorb that, or if they can buy with that, they can all feel passionate about the one thing. When you and another person are passionate about the same thing, you naturally bond. So hopefully, with my passion towards the sport, it can build the community that way. And when we first got here, everyone was on the same mission. So from the get-go, we all were helping each other build each other up. So the more the weeks go on, the more I can see that the team growing as a team. So if the team's together, you win the war. So taking that in mind, if we're all helping each other, even though you're in there by yourself, it is a team sport because you need your team to get you there. Very happy with like a lot of people's performances. So and not just that, when they were done their fights, they were all encouraging each other afterwards. Even the people who fought were having talks, hugging, talking about this, that. So it's going it's going very, very well. It's going very well.
Yeah, good work.
Fight camp originally started last year, so 2021, and we done a summer one. So Lorena brought the idea to us. Me and Ben had been talking about doing a fight camp style thing pretty much since we started the gym, and we just never actually executed on it. And then Lorena sort of put it together. She had experience running other ones in different gyms, so she pieced the puzzles, put the piece of the puzzles together for us, and then pitched the idea. And as soon as we heard it, we're like, this is it. This is what we wanted to do for a long time. So we started there, and then this is our second one now, and it's just a progression. And I think each one we're just learning from and building on. And it's exciting to see where we'll just keep going and how good we're going to get it. My goal as a coach for the people in fight camp is, the biggest thing I think that the coaches can do in fight camp is help people in the mental game, because they're picking up all the skills, they're learning all the skills, and I think that's the easy part for everyone. It's just getting this head right, and it's such a big process and a big journey. And this just helps people grow and develop as a person in general. And as we deal with all the different people doing fight camp, all this stuff's coming out, and there's sort of this self-doubt and self-belief that we're trying to just break and change and just help them be prepared and get ready. because then once they do this, they realise that everything's a bit easier and then they can keep going from there.
They've got a taste of what fight camp's about now and how grueling it actually is. Not just physically, but mentally as well, like the mental toll of just staying on top of their diet, nutrition, you know, like all the strength and conditioning, the training, the not training, that's a big one too, you know, like a lot of people are used to just banging it out every day, you know, and it's so hard for them to pull back and just give their body a rest. And so yeah, there's a lot of that sort of stuff going on, which I think, you know, there's going to be a lot of growth coming from that, understanding how an actual fight camp works. So, but yeah, they're in high spirits. So they've just done their, you know, a harder week this week, the 80% week I think it is, and yeah, so they're in high spirits. They're doing well.
The mindset stuff that they've all been doing throughout camp, that's sports psychology at its finest. It's an amazing course, and there's that, and then that's through Athletes Authority Australia, and then they've also got the strength and conditioning program through JP Athletic, Jordan Papa, who's in New Zealand, who's working with them remotely. So yeah, I think it's been a tough camp for a lot of people. Those first 3 weeks they experienced such a heavy load, their heavy sparring, all of the testing that they did. They had a peak week in that first 3 weeks as well. So to get here in week 6, the start of week 6, and to still have that many people in camp, I think we're doing pretty well.
The best way to upskill is everyone be on the same page in a camp together. Otherwise, you're teaching something and the next week it's like 60% of us in different phases, whereas if you guys are all showing up every single week, we can build, like week 1 we're doing this, week 2 we're doing this, week 3, blah, blah. So don't miss Saturday because they're layers.
Where is your strength and how do I bring this out of you?
Like I'm telling my team, it was like, yo, like go get it, man. Like we got to get this one.
It's amazing that we actually get to give them that opportunity and they can go, I fought.
I think it's a very special thing being a coach, to pass on your knowledge, to inspire people.
Let your hands go, bro. Let your hands go.
If you work hard, you can succeed.